Insider stuff. It's insider because you know what? There's just not a lot of people talking about it. So we're going to talk about why these low cap projects are so important to get invested into and what it means to set yourself up with a low cap ecosystem. Even if you're currently invested into some of these blue chip stocks or blue chip tokens, it's always best to set yourself up with a micro cap type investment because there's a lot of manipulation in the market going on right now. And what we want to do is obviously fight against that manipulation because the manipulation is not going anywhere. And it's basically geared around big institutions coming into the crypto space. This is what everybody wanted, but we saw the disruption, and the disruption is what's causing the market to just basically be in a chokehold, right? So we started to see it once we saw that Bitcoin essentially we had the Bitcoin halving. What I started to see is that once the ETFs came out for Bitcoin, I noticed something unique, right? Because everybody had the expectation of the market just blowing up, right? Right after the Bitcoin halving. Generally, you guys see a few months after that, you'll see the market start to explode. Well, unfortunately, what happened is big institutional players came into crypto and they're not going to let us win easily. The retail investors they're not going to let us win. So, what is our strategy to make some money, guys? Invest in some killer micro cap projects that are going to really do some damage in this bull run. So we're going to talk about two micro cap. In my opinion, they're micro cap, obviously, because the market cap on them is extremely low. We're going to talk about ZBCN and Reactive Network. Basically, they're just sitting on the markets dirt cheap, right? With a lot of technology behind them, long-term economic growth. Um, let's get into it. All right. So, guys, if you're hearing like some background, had to come in here with there may be some background noise in here, but I figured the lighting's way better than in the office. So all right, so microcap infrastructure can definitely change the world. Why? Because everyone talks about the big boys like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, but nobody's asking the real question on what these market caps are going to do. I mean, what the micro caps are going to do. Again, we are looking at micro cap projects and low cap projects because we are in a, a battle between big institutional investors trying to control the market and basically shake us out. They want to take us out of this market because they didn't come in here. Shout out to Emily Garcia. Thank you so much. They didn't come in here to see us win. They came in here to basically dominate in Bitcoin, dominate in XRP, dominate in all these bigger cap projects that essentially they're going to make the money, right? So if you don't have big boy money to fight against the institutions, the best thing for you to do is fight the battle within these low market caps, and finding the correct low market cap is key to being successful. So if you guys are not already familiar, we're going to talk about the payroll rails of the future, and that is ZBCN. So ZBCN is essentially it's not just a token, it's a financial infrastructure layer. It's the future of payroll. Okay. Streaming money and real world crypto adoption. That's important because big infrastructure companies are gonna, it's almost like having XRP being the bank. Projects like ZBCN, ZBEC Network are gonna be joint ventured with big projects like XRP. So what are real-time payment rails? So traditional payrolls are essentially you have a 2 week delay, right? Most of the companies that are huge, they pay every 2 weeks. ZBEX payroll is every second you earn, you get paid. How does that work? Well, it unlocks basically something that's called a gig economy, right? Which utilizes cross-border work, smart contracts, global remote teams, real-time tax benefits, and AI-driven payroll automation. So essentially, it's deep in for money. Okay. What type of real world utility does it have? So payroll is the biggest real world utility of all, right? Billions of dollars in salary flow every single day. Okay. So if you're out there working, you're getting paid through a payroll system. So it's essential that every single job or every single business have some sort of payroll in the business to be able to pay their employee. So ZBCN essentially already supports stablecoin wages, crypto debit cards in 138 plus countries. They have merchant acceptance, treasury streaming, and automated accounting. So set up already on AI. It's not theory. This is live and it's working, and there's liquidity that's basically already hitting it. The tokenomics of ZBCN is, and I'm sorry guys if I sound like I'm going slow. I just want to make sure that I don't stumble and make any mistakes. So we have 100 billion max supply. There's currently 94 billion circulating. There is burn mechanics for protocol fees, staking for securing the network, governance, and then required for operational flows. So basically, if any company's using it, we're burning some ZVCN because it's pretty much the gas, right? It's the fuel. So like as transactions come and they start to scale, ZBCN basically demands rises automatically um, because the fuel to use ZBCN network, obviously you're utilizing the tokens. So we are seeing mass adoption in ZBCN or ZBEG network. They have some stuff that they're, you know, working through, but what they already have in place is multi-chain rails, meaning that there's basically can position themselves. And obviously, I talked about it earlier, 138 plus countries. They do have merchant payment APIs, enterprise payroll rails, and real debit card ecosystem. So if you think of an example is you have some jobs that give you pay cards and they deposit your money on these pay cards. And I believe Wisely is one of them. Just think about ZBCN or ZBEC network being one of those payroll paying payment systems through cryptocurrency as your ISO 222 coins start to come alive and become our new banking system because that's what's going down with those. So I guess to top it all off, money always follows payroll rails. If payroll runs through ZBCN, then crypto runs through ZBCN. So essentially, early investors in Visa, MasterCard, PayPal, Stripe became multimillionaires, but they didn't buy hype coins, they bought infrastructure rails. Yeah, so ZBCN, very important. I wanted to touch on just the basic utilities behind it. They're not, we don't necessarily even have to dive deep into ZBCN because if you think about it, how important is it? It's as important as the medical field. Just as we need nurses, doctors, everything to take care of our health, we obviously need payroll payment systems in place for businesses to be able to pay their employees. And what a better time as we move into XRP and all these ISO 222 banking coins and tokens coming into play and being able to utilize off of them. So that's why ZBCN network is really important. And I believe it's one of those top micro cap coins that can make you a crap load of money without having to break your back and dump every last bit of money into it with maximum potential of, in my opinion, 40 to 80x easily, pushing it 100, 115x. That's pushing it. But easily, there's no way you shouldn't see a 70, 75x. Make sure you guys are taking profit. Everybody have to understand, like last time we were in December of last year when a lot of these tokens 4 and 5x, 4 to 6x. And I believe a lot of people were afraid to take profits because they let their emotions think that there was going to be even huge uh, leg up coming in the following months. But as time tell, all we did was retrace from that 6x pump back down to where we started off at, and that's what happened. But I guarantee that we're going to see that again. We're going to see another pump. Make sure you guys are taking profits off of your low market caps or even diversifying, from your higher market cap projects into these lower market micro cap projects. I'm backwards, guys. I'm gonna keep it real. I'm backwards right now. I'm more like 70% into lower caps, and then I'm building up like 20 to 10% in higher caps. I mean, I'm going upside down because this market is upside down. So I'm playing this game a little bit different here. You know what I'm saying? I'm playing the game a little bit different because um this market is just so different. Let me just check out some of the comments. Um wow, so Matthew's World, apologize for that. Um my condolences. Guys have any questions before we jump into smart reactive smart contracts? All right, so this video is gonna run, this live is gonna run a little slow because we're putting out education. I'm giving you times to, some time to absorb. Might be boring, but on the flip side of it, you have to understand what your investment is and how you plan on making money in cryptocurrency. Okay, so let's get into reactive network. I've talked about this one, but I kind of want to dive a little bit deeper. In comparison to something like um ZBCN, how ZBCN, ZBEC network moves money around. React is the project that essentially processes the information to move the money. So where ZBCN automates payroll, React automates decision making, right? So if ZBN is building payment rails, React is building an intelligence layer as a layer one. It's basically where blockchains uh, mm, it makes blockchains reactive, right? So it has communication from blockchains going to each other and basically being able to do transactions amongst each other. So React lets smart contracts react in real time to market data, oracles, AI signals, supply chain events, identity proofs, which is important. We'll chat about that. Sensor data, IoT signals, and off chain. Tokenomics. So reactive network tokenomics are great. It's utilized as gas. There is some utility behind the reactive nodes, computational workloads, incentivizing node operators. So if you're running nodes on reactive network, there is incentive paying with reactive network tokens. All right. Data inputs, on-chain verification, cross-chain messaging. Basically, React Network solves the, I guess, the constraints that other cryptocurrencies possibly have. So when you have constraints of one project being able to talk to another project, some, you know, using a reactive smart contract essentially makes it easier to communicate. So this is important because, you know, we have only a few major projects that are really positioned. Like we have Ethereum, obviously. We have Ethereum is basically, one of the biggest ones that we have, but we have also Solana trying to make a name for itself, and then we have Binance, obviously, Polygon, ADA, but some of these still struggle with being able to diversify communication amongst each other. And I think how reactive smart contracts are positioned and how they're basically created, it's going to be easier to jump on chain and use reactive network to move Solana around, to move Ethereum around, to move other projects, maybe even projects that, you know, are in their entirety ecosystem, like Internet Computer. Like Internet Computer, it uses the CK chain, which is cryptography key chain, or yeah, chain key, cryptography chain key, and that's where you get, your CK Bitcoin, your CK Ethereum, your CK Solana, your CK Binance. I haven't really been up to date with Internet Computer, but I know at the time it was bridging everything to run off of the cryptography keychain. And that's was, basically the simulator to be able to move around different chains onto each project. So what reactive smart contracts do is they basically they build an avenue for cryptos to talk to each other without having to slap on, an additional, like if you look at Ethereum, right? You have the WETH or the W Ethereum, W Solana, they all these other tokens have these basically snapshot of another token to be able to bridge it to use to go back and forth with others. But there's major gas fees and stuff involved with reactive network. They're not utilizing a lot of gas fees to move around crypto, um, basically to bridge crypto to one to the other. So what I think, to kind of summarize this up, for you to have an understanding, is that ZBCN and reactive network are basically very much tied to real world assets like gold, treasuries, carbon credits, real estate. The world is basically tokenizing ZBCN and React basically because there's a need for AI real-time blockchain rails because of XRP and the way that the government's setting up the ISO 222 tokens. There's DPIN tied into both of these. And then there's also Web3 infrastructure, Web3 new infrastructure, which again is tied into ISO 222 tokens. So, in conclusion, I just want to let you guys know that people are just like, they really shit on micro caps, they really talk crap. But these coins, they're not dead. They have a lot of room to grow. They have a lot of utility. These two specific have a lot of utility. Um, God, I want to just reach out and talk about Jasmine injection, but I'm not. I'm gonna keep it to React and ZBCN. But here's the thing, guys. We're gonna circle back to what initially I said. We have big institutions in cryptocurrency. I'm gonna keep it 100. Everybody wanted it because one, we thought that once big institution came into the markets were gonna explode, and we were gonna see some crazy gains in all of crypto across the board. But in turn, what we saw was a delay from Bitcoin. There was a delay from Bitcoin, and it drug out till December. So we had the halving, we had ETFs come out, then we had December pump in 2024. 2025, this whole year's been garbage. It's been trash because why? Bitcoin has just been the only thing that's pumping. Even Ethereum should have been when Bitcoin hit 123,000, corrected back down to $80,000. Ethereum should have been sitting at least $16,000 or so. We didn't see that. So since we didn't see it, what is happening? We're not going to fumble into a bear market. I don't see that happening. I see that the big institutional money, they're playing a game. They're trying to see how much they can suppress Bitcoin to get to the lowest amount of value, buy that crap up again, sell it out, do the same thing over and over again. Because what happens every time they squeeze Bitcoin, it shakes and disrupts the entire damn market because everybody wants to sell because they think that crypto is going to go to zero. They fear, and it's simple. We don't follow the rules. We don't follow the damn rules. The rules are when there's extreme fear, buy. When there's extreme green, sell that crap. We got to play the game just like they play the game. And if you think hodl, in my opinion, hodling partially is a good thing if you're in crypto for the next 10 years. So if you're going to buy and hold, plan to buy and hold for the next 10 years. If you plan on making some money in crypto, what the hell? Hell no, 'cause I look like a fat boy. I'm already big as it is. I ain't gonna shave I messed up right here, and then I had my beard going. But anyway, so if you want to make money, build the ecosystem on these low cap projects, and I'm gonna keep chatting about them. Jasmine is a very, very significant low cap project, but I think there's so much potential. There is a ton of stuff and info coming out for Jasmine. I need to, put the videos together. Um, it's okay to be gay. Oh man. I'm gonna put the videos together, and I want to build Jasmine and Junction because those two is a killer combo. Japan is just really backing Jasmine. If you guys know Crypto Future, Rob Mass, he is going to be doing a one-on-one with Mr. Hera. So there's gonna be some cool ass news behind the scenes for us who really love Jasmine because we're connected and plugged in with Rob. And I'm pretty sure he's gonna reach out to us before he puts out the info so we all have an understanding of how badass Jasmine's gonna be. Guys, Jasmine's going to hit $17 eventually. I don't know. I don't think it's gonna happen anytime soon, but I will not sell Jasmine until I feel that it has gained. I'm not gonna sell Jasmine until it goes past its original launch price at $4, $4 or $5, because I believe in Jasmine with conviction, and IoT and what Jasmine has planned is gonna freaking change the dynamic of the world when it comes to IoT. And I'm telling you, I'll sell all the other crap. You know what I'm saying? I'll sell my Litecoin before I sell Jasmine. That's how freaking badass Jasmine's gonna be. If millions of people buy freaking Sony PlayStations, millions of people are gonna buy into the programs that Jasmine and Junction are building for IoT. It's gonna be badass. Literally, like the way I see it is like you're literally gonna be able to protect your data and get paid for it, right? So, in order for businesses, in order for any IoT functionality to figure out who you are, they want to know who you are, they're gonna have to pay you to sign up to their programs. They're going to have to pay you to sign up for their programs. Do you understand that? So applications, when you have to fill out your personal information, they're going to have to pay you before you use any of their apps. That's the type of shit that Jasmine's coming up with. And with Junction behind it, it's gonna be killer, guys. So sorry, I wanted to stay on task, but guys, reactive network, um, reactive network, ZBCN. These are two killer ass projects, in my opinion. Let me get to coin market cap. And by the way, Bitcoin is back up 90,000 or something like that. Did you guys see that? Because Bitcoin is being manipulated by the powers that have a shitload of Bitcoin. That's what it is. Bitcoin whales are controlling the Bitcoin markets. Oh, don't trip, Kim. I got a lot, girl. I got info, or sir, I don't know. I got info on Jasmine coming. I got some killer info when Rob gets back and when it's time to just start dropping. Oh, I'm sorry, baby girl. My bad. So, girl, I got some. I got some. I got you. I got you on that, Jasmine. Don't trip. ZBCN sitting at 0.003. In my opinion, we'll probably go to 5, 6 cents easily. And that's just within the next, in 2026, I'm thinking 5 to 6 cents. Reactive network, I'm thinking $3.15 or more because I think when they start really picking up uh, Web3 infrastructure and Web3 adoption, and it's getting close because when ISO 222 rolls out 100%, that's when all these other projects are actually going to start to make way into the space, and that's where it's going to get super, super. exciting. Jasmine prediction for 2026. I would hope to see it at 32 cents to a dollar. That's kind of the range where I'm hoping to see it at, but really I'm not too concerned on where it goes because, like I said, I'm in Jasmine for the long haul. That is going to be one token that I don't let go of. I have a big supply for myself, my daughter, and then, I have some put aside for the family, for 2030, 2040, 2050. So hopefully my kids um have a ecosystem put together for them. So eventually when they decide to all come to an agreement to cash it out, they'll have it readily available, and I hope it's worth millions. Jasmine 32 to a dollar. That's what I'm hoping to see it. Hopefully you guys, once you guys start to see the how Jasmine and uh, Junction start to correlate with each other, and then you start seeing how the carbon consortium starts to work, how CCIC starts to work with Jasmine, and you start to really understand what these phrases are and how it pertains to Jasmine as a project. You'll start to understand how IoT and the CCIC, the consortium, the PDL, all that's going to come together in a whole. And you're going to say, oh shit, Jasmine just made PlayStation 65, but for IoT and data. All right, guys, I hope you guys enjoy this. Make sure you guys smash the like button. Again, sorry if it kind of dragged on, but I really wanted to get across points. It's hard. You got to dig up all this stuff and really get it to you guys, and put it out in a manner where, you're going to really be interested in it. But at the end of the day, studying is studying, guys. Read The Richest Man in Babylon. That's a great book. It'll help you really redefine the way you think about money and how to really dig into investments. That's like the entry level, and then you can move up to greater books like Ray Dalio books and Warren Buffett. Everybody rides Warren Buffett's coattail, but to me, it's like, hey, dude got lucky, but he got lucky building an ecosystem. And that's essentially what we got to do. Guys, I love you. Make sure you check out the Patreon. Follow me on X. If any of you guys would want to be interested in joining me in the X community chat, just make sure you follow me on X, message me, and I'll set it up so we could chat about crypto because that's what I want to take this community to get you guys out there sharing your projects and sharing the stuff that you guys do and the projects that you love. I'm not against any ecosystem, especially if you're building it with conviction and with belief inside your heart. All right, guys, thank you for giving me your time. May you guys have a blessed Thanksgiving with your family and friends. Please be safe. Do not drink and drive. If you're drinking, get an Uber because life is valuable and we only got one. Love you guys. Take care. Be blessed.